All right, guys, this is our wrist mobility or wrist warm-up series. So this is gonna get our wrists good for training things like handstands or anything where we're on our hands on the ground, push-ups, planks, etc. So we're going to start out by just doing some simple wrist circles. So interlocking those fingers here and just rolling those wrists in one direction 10 times. And then reversing that direction and rolling 10 times. This direction's always a little bit weird for me. Takes a minute, okay? Shake that out. And then what we're going to do is we're gonna be on our hands and knees here, just doing some straight back and forth wrist rocks. Hands flat on the ground, fingers pointing straight ahead. And you're just rocking to that point where you're going all the way over your arms and stretching those forearms, and then kind of pushing in through the fingers to kind of push yourself back, and then rocking forward and then back there. So those are our wrist rocks. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to take our hands out to the sides here. Can't really do it very well with this wall. And then we're putting that weight over our hands, and then we're going to push through our fingertips while keeping our elbows locked and going side to side there, putting as much weight as you can that feels comfortable. So do about 10 each side there. All right. Then the next one is we're going to come onto the tops of our hands. So you may need to start in this kind of kneeling position with the hands very close to these knees, and you may have to have your elbows bent at start to get onto the backs of those wrists. The goal here is to first get to a place where we can straighten the elbows. So you're going to feel a strong stretch in those forearms. So your initial kind of back of the wrist journey may just start here with a lot of the weight on the knees, putting as much weight into the wrist as you can, but straightening and bending those elbows to get a nice forearm stretch. As you kind of work your way through that, then you can start doing this rock here, where you're rocking back and forth with straight elbows, putting as much weight on the wrists as they'll tolerate and feeling that stretch, keeping those elbows locked out. And then as you progress, you'll be able to take those hands further away from your knees and get into those same rocks there. So that's the progression for the backs of the wrists. Next one is going to be finger push-ups here, or wrist push-ups. So for this one, weight is kind of forward over the hands, and then we're doing a push-up onto that first knuckle here. So the fingers stay on the ground, the elbows are locked, and you're just pushing strong into those fingers to get the palm of the hand off the ground. So doing 10 or so of these, making sure to have even weight in each hand, just pushing strongly into those fingers. If that one's too much on the ground, you can also stand and do it on the wall, and depending on the angle from the wall, you'll have an easier or harder time, but those can be a little tough, so you can try them on the wall standing and play with the distance off of the wall for how much weight you want to give those hands, okay? And last but not least, you're going to come into a position where your fingers are facing each other, getting a good stretch on those wrists again, playing with maybe drawing some circles, getting a good stretch there. Again, putting as much or little weight as you need to. And then when we've played with some circles there, we're going to do this motion where we're curling our fingers up into a fist and then coming up onto our hand. So curl, push through the hand up to that fist, push up to that fist, and just alternating those. Really curling and engaging, and you can play with the pattern, and maybe you come up on one, up on the other, down on one, down on the other. And again, you're putting as much weight on those wrists as they'll tolerate, feeling a good stretch all through here. All right, that's our wrist series. Play with the times and the reps there, but generally do at least 10 reps or 30 seconds of each movement.